Bookstahooda! Hi, it's Sandy, aka Bookstahooda. That's my YouTube channel name anyway, and on social media my accounts are made a longer time ago, so I call myself Aegis1837 if you want to find me on Twitter or Instagram for some reason. I've been making YouTube videos since, well, booktube videos since March of 2015, and it's become a great part of my life. I am a really passionate person about literature. This is my personal bookshelf. It's the IKEA Kallax shelf, I think, which I saw first on Ariel Bissett's channel and fell in love and knew I needed it. So my videos are kind of typical booktube fare with a little fangirl slash literary criticism flair. I have a master's in English, particularly British literature, particularly even further of the Victorian period, sometimes the Romantic period. My personal goal with this channel is just to talk about books, find other people who love to talk about books with me, and kind of expanding the literary canon, because I was brought up with the literary canon as kind of, you know, what it is, because my dad was also an English professor. He had a PhD though. I taught English for 3 years. I taught college comp. And then I realized that I was getting paid like $0, and that made me very sad. So I quit, and it took me a long time to find a new job, but I'm an assistant now, and I can afford more books, which is great, and I can even save a little money. It's amazing what a job that pays you a living wage allows you to do. I make a lot of hauls because I buy a lot of books. I buy a lot more than I should, but whatever. I also unhaul books because and especially in the past year or so, I've really been fine-tuning my reading habits. Like, I used to read a lot of young adult, but that's a lot of young adult paranormal fantasy type thing. I mean, I will forever love Twilight, but I have been getting a lot more interested in adult literary fiction, and also just adult fantasy type books, and part of that is because I'm getting older and I'm married now, and my interests have changed. My life has changed, and so my reading habits have changed. I'm gonna do videos about writing. I have a series on here called Writing Right, in which I talk about collegiate level writing and how you can succeed, because I really miss teaching, and this is a way where I get to control what I say and I don't have to do any grading, so yeah. I watch a lot of BBC adaptations of literature, and I talk about them on here. My most popular videos are about Poldark Season 1, and I have a series of Poldark Season 2 vlogs coming, which I still have to edit, but I will get there. I'm also a giant Outlander fan, as you may notice. I talk about TV shows, you know, Poldark and Outlander, and sometimes anime, and sometimes Japanese video games. This year I'm doing Preptober videos with my friend from grad school, Cherish of the Motley News. She has a channel all about being a black woman in America, and it's really great. She's in a lot of my videos, and we're doing NaNoWriMo together this year, and it's been the best so far, and we're just gonna have great time with NaNoWriMo. What genres other than that do I read? Well, looking at my shelves, I read a lot of adult fantasy. I am a giant fan of Victoria Schwab. I first read A Darker Shade of Magic, and then I read Vicious, and I actually taught Vicious to one of my Comp 2 classes, and so I'm a huge fan of hers, and I am so grateful that I get to be alive while she's writing books. So I sometimes read literary fiction, I sometimes read young adult still, I read historical fiction, I read young adult sometimes, and I read just kind of whatever catches my eye. As long as the story sounds interesting or the characters or something, I'm usually okay with, you know, giving it at least a try. I'm really trying to diversify my reading this year, so that's a new goal for me and this channel, to read more diversely. I also do a series of videos called Bookstahooda on the Road, which I abbreviate BOTR in the video descriptions because I'm trying to do like Lord of the Rings, LOTR, but those are unscripted movie videos where I am driving, because I used to have a really long commute to work, and now I have a 20-minute commute, which is not bad. But sometimes I'm really passionate and I want to talk about things before I lose the passion, so I film off the cusp movies, videos about whatever I'm currently fangirling about. So those are sporadic, and some people watch them for some reason. So thank you for that. I try to upload weekly if I can with my new job. I work 8 to 4:30, which is so early. I'm not normally a morning person, but I'm slowly adjusting. So I usually only get to edit and film on the weekends, except for Wednesday nights when I film with Cherish about writing. So if any of that sounds like you want to stick around, please do. And as I always say at the end of my videos, Bookstahooda, which I will explain now. That's not the end. As I was growing up, my dad always used to say Bookstahooda when anybody would talk about books. And so I was trying to come up with a name for my channel, and I think I was home and Dad said Bookstahooda, and I was like, that's it! I'll just not spell it like this, but instead spell it like this. Oh, I also buy a lot of stationery, hauls, stuff. I have a lot of pens, guys. Okay, that's really it this time. Bookstahooda! I hope you stick around. I do not always look this put together. This was planned.